Hi, this is Taiwan Education and the Culture. Today we were going to talk about the Taiwan history during the Japanese colonial time. This is lecture 4. As a part of the Japanese Empire, Japanese colonial policy may be described as beneficial and progressive on one hand, yet discrimination and predatory on the other. These are the changes happened in Taiwan between 1894-95 and 1945. There are totally 50 years under the Japanese colonization. You can see first, the Japanese government established order and promoted economic development, including rice, sugar production. The second, to upgrade Taiwan's economic infrastructure, including railroad and road construction, electricity, and harbors. This is the picture in Jiayi County. It is called Alishan Forest Railway. This was built in 1912. They finished the railroad construction, and as you can see, this is the major function of the railroad is to do the lumber industry. And also, there's a big change in Taiwan's education. Taiwan's education system was greatly improved. The island's literacy rate soon exceeded that of any part of China or any area in Asia outside Japan. So we are the second highest literacy rate in Asia. You can see the picture was the Jiayi First Public School, took in 1926. And according to the history of the Chongwen Elementary School, right now its current name, it already more than 120 years. Which means the Japanese government has established many elementary schools in Taiwan. And you can see the students, many boys, because during the Japanese time, they were older, the boys should go to school, like compulsory education, while it's optional for girls. Many girls who live in the city, they usually they will also go to school and become literate. And then we can see the economic part. As Japan's first colonial effort, its rule of Taiwan was an experiment, and its policy often seemed inconsistent. In the economic realm, Japanese first priority was to increase Taiwan's agricultural productivity. And because of the agricultural productivity, Japan also upgraded Taiwan's economic infrastructures, like railroad. Before 1895, Taiwan had only 30 miles of the railroad. By 1905, it has 300, and there are 7,000 more are either planned or under construction. Japanese constructed roads and harbors, and the communications facilities were built and upgraded. In 1903, hydroelectric generators went into service near Taipei, making Taiwan the first place to use electricity in Asia outside of Japan. Yet there are also some operations come from the Japanese government. For example, the sugar industry is completely monopolized by Japanese capitalists. This is a good example because as you can see in the old picture here, this is called the Suantou, the sugar factory. The picture was during like the 1920s or 1930s. Because Japanese government, they encourage the rich people to do the investment. Then they invest a large money to build up this sugar factory. And they will need a huge amount of the sugarcane land. And they forced the farmer, the Taiwanese farmer, sold the land to the sugar factory. Then the farmers became workers, and there are some riot happened during the Japanese time because the price of the sugarcane was made by the factory management and then manager, and then they set up the unfair situation. Then the Taiwanese people feel some exploitations. So I will make some conclusion. During the Japanese time, Japanese policies had some important influence on Taiwan. Japan's social policy, although some exploitation, had made transformation in many aspects of Taiwan society. However, some Taiwanese custom and folk religion remain the same. I think during the Japanese time, Taiwanese people still using the Taiwanese dialect, or either Hakka or Southern Fujianese dialect, and also the folk religion like temple, and also the religious ceremonies. They are all remain the same. I have the question for you. During the Japanese colonization period, the modern schools were established and the rate of the literacy was raised. Is it true or is it false? Yeah, I think the answer is true. Yes. Because before Japanese time, in Taiwan, the education system was not established. We were called 私塾, the private learning place for only some maybe rich family. They can afford to send the children to learn how to read and write. But the Japanese time already set up the public elementary school and forced the children to go to school, and that's why the rate of the literacy was raised. Okay, this is the end of the section.